more pirates. Yes, Fena, the pirate princess, after other pirates. Bubble pirates. But yeah, so hello everyone. Of course, time for Fena. You saw One Piece, of course, more pirate animes. Just go, baby. Say last episode, they kind of course, reunited with Fena, everyone, you know, they're back together. I guess they're gonna go now towards what's called El Dorado, right? They haven't really like established otherwise what they're gonna save him. Last episode I think definitely was the slowest paced one, but nothing really happened. They kinda learned some stuff and they just kinda talked about. They kinda convinced Shitem to not betray them, I guess. But it felt definitely kinda very slow paced. Like how episode that. Fena using a charm. It's kind of weird though. Fena probably has actual magical powers, but because Grandpa was like, she's a witch, she can seduce you. It's like, let's talk about the female in general. Yeah, Grandpa's like, you gotta be wary, boy. This woman has magical powers. She can seduce men. You're like, she's a woman that can seduce men. Yeah, that sounds magical, Grandpa. Magical. So, yeah, she's like cute lady. Yeah. So maybe he should explain to his grandboy if she actually has like, you know, actual magical powers, right? Magical powers, or if it's just like her being a very attractive woman. Who knows? Let's watch it. 3, 2, 1, and go. But definitely felt like a disservice from Grandpa there. You're saying that she has the witch, she's a seductress, yeah, she got magical powers of charm or something, but she actually might have real. Thing is that, like, it wouldn't be impossible if Fena or her mother Helena or someone has actual magical powers, right? Because they have some kind of holy, divine power, right? She can, like, dream about the Holy Land or something. Because mentioned, you know, Adam and Eve and the Garden of Eden and so on, and my guess is she's like a reborn Eve or something, right? It's kind of power of the Eve. You have Ark and Eve and so on. Like in Exxon, I guess. So on, yeah, some kind of, you know, something like that, right? But because he was like explaining it as, oh, she has magical powers. What can you do with them? Oh, she can seduce you. Like, he didn't really say it. I felt like it actually sounded believable. But that episode was definitely the slowest pace. Yeah, I wasn't happy with it, but I said that week, yeah, I wasn't very happy with the episode. It wasn't like terrible. It wasn't like terrible. It was just like really slow pace. It wasn't like, oh my god, this is the worst episode ever. It was just like, it's like, I mean, yeah, we kind of moved with the story, but it moved the story at snail pace compared to the previous episodes. And then it's only like one season, so you can't spend too much time on like dwelling on that kind of stuff, right? Okay, it says 8 and 9 on that. That's weird. That's looks like a bug, I guess. Issues, I guess. No, it said episode 8 and 9 on text there, so that's really weird. It's probably just a translation error, probably. But did he kill her then? Like, when did her mom actually die? The thing about, we don't know when mom died. The father was killed by him, probably, right? By Abel. Of course, Abel and Cain there. But maybe a flashback with him and her mom would be nice. Yeah, with Helena of Troy. Flashback time? Could be nice. There's like a painting though, maybe she's just dreams here. Oh, that's some kind of Garden of Eden again, I guess. Yeah, interesting. They do it like, because he's like an artist, right? So yeah, they do it, it's kind of like a painting, interesting. They do it like the world looks like some kind of like a, yeah, an aquarelle painting here and there. He of course was like a painter as a kid, right? But I guess he's gonna meet her mom then as a kid here and fall in love with her. Something. But I like how they made the whole thing be like a painting, like a canvas. He's walking around on. And then the sister after flowing white hair. Yeah, the babe. And of course he falls in love with her. And then he's trying to make Fena turn into Helena. Yeah, and of course Myrmonden was very hot. To no surprise. And while she's out there dancing, she's using her seductive magic, as I talked about. Yeah, why's out there dancing in the rain for? But I guess he met him, she was just quite young. Didn't meet her as an adult, no, she's like some teenager, maybe even younger. Interesting soundtrack here. Yeah. Looks similar to Fena, of course, which makes sense. Less of a white hair though, more blonde. Yeah. What are you dancing for? None there. I don't know, cause it's fun. I don't know, yeah, I just do it, you know. I'm a hoot. Yeah, Helena. Which is a very beautiful woman. Well... Oh, his name is Bluefield? Yeah. It feels like a blue period, very painting name. Very arty name, Bluefield. I draw blue skies and so on. Yeah, she's doing a red... Yeah, and of course he kept painting her. Well, it makes sense he painted her mom though, because he was painting her for many times here, yeah. Hanging out with her. There's no wonder he felt netto rare though, he obviously knew her quite well then, and she's gonna take another man, right, so... Yeah. Some maid is bored and so on. Living in this grey household. This boring life, right? See, it's no wonder honestly that he's getting at the radar, because he actually spent a lot of time with her. So he clearly is in love with her. Oh, look at it, oh my god. Why did you pick the other guy though? Is that Fena's dad? Who's that then? Yeah. Why did they pick the other guy? Why did she kinda looks like she likes him, yeah. Why did she pick you know? Why did she betray him almost? Maybe he's right to be angry at her and happy with that. Maybe she got orbed. She's pregnant though, covering her stomach there. Could be prego, right? That's what you expect. Yeah, so is this Fena's dad or something? Oh, she looks super depressed here in the... So her actual true love was Abel? Yeah, it feels like he actually was right here then. Yeah, interesting. Actually, yeah, surprisingly. I thought he would just be crazy, right? But no. Thought he was gonna be like a crazy stalker guy or whatever, but no, she seemingly loved him actually, and like she was forced to marry the old guy or something, like not really explaining it fully. But of course this is his version of it though, I suppose. He maybe he's like, you know, unreliable narrator there, maybe he's lying to us as the viewer. But I don't think so. Does feel like he's lying, it would be... Yeah, why would she elope with... Well, the king's child, so he isn't the father, the person that raised... The person that raised... No, because they were like, she eloped with the other guy, but that wasn't the father then, so is Fena's dad not the guy she thought was dad, was actually the king? Is Fena the princess, literally then? Because she's the princess Fena, I guess? If that's true though. Maybe Abba was the father still? What's this though? King maybe? Where's it running now? This place is gigantic. Some prison or something, I guess? So Helena is in prison? What? So I guess he never eloped and he's put in prison, right? Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. She didn't elope, she's a lie. It's like Fena, of course, now then. Short hair, yeah, the Fena. It's exactly like Fena now. Just less white here, yeah. Well, she's in prison though. Like, she's in prison, man. Like, pretty obvious. She was in prison, right? But yeah, but is that true then? Is Fena his sibling then instead? His sister? If the king actually is the father, or if it's how... That's a... But if it's weird, it's like, why do you leave? It's like, she's in prison, man. She probably got imprisoned. Oh yeah, she need to be... She need to smash... Couldn't she wait though until the son became the king, maybe? If until Abel might became the king, right? Then she could marry Abel instead. Yeah, she's like, I need to get... She's like, crazy. No, I can go back to Eden. But I guess maybe she has to go and give birth to Fena at Eden? Maybe Fena was born at Eden then. Oh yeah, she sounds like a religious nutcase, but I guess yeah, she has magical powers. She can be born to... But I guess she doesn't have the same magic as a daughter then. Yeah. I guess she doesn't have the same power because she's like, I have to give birth to her at that place of the king's baby to produce this perfect little girl, right? So that's why they look the same, but Helena doesn't have the Shiro hair, right? Doesn't have the super white hair. Yeah, and it feels like a Joan of Arc thing. So I guess they're burning her at the stake. Yeah, doing the classic Joan of Arc, the witch. Seems to be an actual witch though, so. What happened? But the baby, though, how she give birth to the baby though? Like, didn't she have to go to Eden? Something? I guess it happened between this. What? But they burned her. It's like Joan of Arc, so. Doesn't make much sense how she managed to give birth to Fena though before she would burn the stake here. Wasn't she in prison? Because she had to return to Eden and she gave birth in between the burning or something and the prison part. Doesn't make much sense here. Unless she managed to give birth to Eden and then got captured. Kinda. But yeah, much more meaningful episode than last week. Much more meaningful. But then I guess Fena's father wasn't who she thought, right? That actually was Abel's papa, yeah, the king, I guess. That sounded like Fena, that Helena actually did smash the king there. That she got the princess daughter she needed to create the ultimate daughter of power or something. That sounds like. But he actually wasn't at the referee though. Yeah, he wasn't just crazy. He actually wasn't just crazy. He actually was natural. They actually did natural him. He was the true love of her mommy. Took him out of training. The cheese! La puzzle! Fina! But it's Fena, his sister, I guess so. If that was true, then yeah, it would be his little immortal. Yeah, just say that. How do you know which is the real one? I didn't ask her which one is the real one. It took one. I had the fish one. It took one. Yeah, I didn't ask. You can see what the real one was. Right? The love stuff. Come on, you know you introducing me. Stupid boyfriends. You know the one you like telling me I was cute. Yeah, come on. Frustrating boys. Yeah. Oh, see? She has got some weird magical powers. So you can suddenly use sing or something. This is really weird with Fena. Yeah, suddenly she goes into a kind of trance and just... Look at her, she's a crazy woman. We think about her mom who's dancing in the rain because no reason though. Her mom was like, I'm just gonna dance in the rain, yeah. So there's some mental thing going on, right? And he knows the lyrics. Sounds like some kind of code here, with warm storm clothes. That they're explaining Eden. As you dance around, yeah. A secret song. Sounds like a way to get to Eden, right? The lyrics are probably his code. Yeah, it's just like, you know, between the stormy clouds, here's the pathway to heaven, you know, yeah, it's like, yeah. The golden land, right? Yeah, it's like, it's clearly a code to go to Eden. Yeah, this is obviously a pathway to Eden. It's super obvious. Holy shit, man. You knew the path all along? Yeah, the ark, you know, Noah's ark. Like people he knew it all along. Yeah, obviously. Yeah, there's a clock. They're very good at breaking this down. Immediately, it's like, has to be east to south. Yeah, they're very good at immediately breaking this thing down. They're like, immediately figures out what it means. Yeah, it means that the 2440, yeah. Also, mommy backstory. Well, maybe mommy didn't burn either then. Because she has remember for her long hair. I don't know, maybe she did birth before she was in prison. So they... Vice versa, so vice versa, like second line. Yeah, and vice versa. Reverse. Is north and south. Yeah, is it turn it around, yeah. Yeah, this makes perfect sense. It doesn't make sense, but they're very good at breaking this down. They're geniuses. They're amazing. Oh yeah, it's actually... Yeah, it makes perfect sense. They're really good at doing this. I was expecting to gonna go and, you know, tell the smart girl about this, Karen, but they're just doing it by themselves, yeah. They're just doing it by themselves immediately. Oh, it has to be like northeast. Ah, it makes perfect sense, yeah. Yeah, God will tell me where to go. It's like, someone will tell me where to go. And for some reason, Abel knows this too, for some reason. He knows everything as well. For some reason, Abel is like, I know where to go as well. Where would that be? In the middle of the Atlantic? I mean, he wants to go to the anime though, so even if he will betray them, he wants to go there regardless to figure out the truth of it. Kusanagi, so wouldn't he lie regardless? It's kind of like, oh, you're fine, you're gonna betray us, or you want to go there? It's like, I want to go there anyway. I mean, yeah, like no matter what side he actually is on, he's obviously gonna go to the Eden to get his sword, right? So he's like, yeah, let's go. Like, why would he say no? Like, no matter what side he is actually on, he would absolutely want to go to Eden. Isn't that his clan's goal anyway? By helping Fena now, they're going to where he wants to go. So it's like his... I mean, it aligns with what he wants to do regardless of what side he's on, right? It really does. Yeah, so now we go to Eden. Maybe? I don't know, Karen. No, she kind of did figure it by herself. I expected them to go tell her, right? Yeah, she's a smarter girl, but it didn't even... I thought she was going to be part of understanding the puzzle, but they just did it themselves in a minute. They were arguably too smart there when they went to the puzzle part. I think to rewatch the part where she's like, I gave birth to the girl. Something was going to happen yet, but I guess she gave birth to her before she was in prison. And then they cut her hair down, you know, short hair like Joan of Arc, and burned her like a witch. It's part of the family to get witch staked. But I guess his papa needed to have the king blood to make the ultimately girl. But he seemed to be her actual love interest though, like he actually did love Abel. But then she needed to have the king's baby immediately. He could have become king, those could have waited for that, but yeah. So it says again there. The man told me. But who's that man? It's like maybe... Yeah, what man? So maybe the I guess it was like Fena's fake dad. Yeah, that pussy can be born by the king's blood. But Sal actually went to Eden to give birth after she got pregnant. In between the time skip here, right? Yeah, I guess she's like, my part is finished. But the weird thing is that she does say Kaoru. So I was looking at the translation and what she's saying, right? That I don't understand, because she's like, my plan is finished, but then I have to return to Eden. So, and she does say Kaoru, like going home. So in Japanese, yeah, the translation isn't really like wrong. I guess we could technically translate it, well, I have to return something, or go home, I guess. I guess you could argue that she's saying like, I know I have to go home to Eden more than return to Eden, or yeah, but it's like whatever. Yeah, so, but it sounds like that thing is so weird, because it does sound like she gave birth to Fena at Eden, and she was of course pregnant here, right? And I guess Fena's dad was, this is Fena's dad, I guess, or not dad, but I mean not her actual father was the king, right? According to Helena, right? She's left with Abel's papa, right, to get the king's baby, so she met to read him. She did have to read him though, yeah, and she seemed to love him, right? But this guy, I mean, is that Fena's, dad, right? Her fake dad then, wasn't her actual father. The man she believed to be her father was actually just this guy, right? But he was like, that man told me. So that also kind of weird. So it's not like he kind of manipulated Helena. Maybe he's right still though. So maybe not necessarily being evil, right? But it's not like he was like working with Helena to create this, I don't know, mystical baby, right? Using the bloodline or whatever. So it's kind of weird. So her father was setting it up to, or her, adopted father, and call it, set her up to create this baby of magical powers. But yeah, she's pregnant there, right? And I guess she then went to Eden, gave birth, and then she returned and got captured and got burned like a witch on the stake. But I mean, seemingly, she actually was in love with Abel, right? Until Huntsman, then I guess what his name is. Yeah. He was like, no, you're gonna smash the Papa instead. Yeah, because you cannot see her here, right? Put her head on Abel. So I guess she actually was in love with him. So, but I think it's an interesting turn to it, because before this, it felt like Abel was just crazy, like, oh yeah, before this kind of happened, Abel used to see her, used to be Bindi, right, when she was younger, and then gone crazy when she fell in love with Huntsman or whatever. But seemingly she actually wanted to smash Abel. Maybe she even did smash him. But then the guy was like, no, you're gonna smash the Papa. Don't get the wrong blood in you. Don't get the kid blood, get the Papa blood. And she changed, right, course to seduce the king instead of the prince instead. That being said though, maybe Abel is Fena's father then. She clearly got pregnant here as a teenager, as a young woman, right? Yeah, young adult or maybe even teenager. She was fairly young when she got pregnant, right? Maybe teenage pregnancy, perhaps. It's supposed to be like what, 17th century, 18th century anime, something like that. So yeah, I mean, sure, yeah, why not, right? Pretty common back in the days, certainly. But I mean, seriously, it felt like this anime is not really explicit here, but it definitely comes off as she did sleep with Abel too, perhaps, right? And her father, and his father, both of them, right? Maybe. And maybe the other third guy too, right? So, Mom got around, yeah, but maybe. So maybe Abel is actually Fena's father. Given the whole, that she looks like he smashed her mom here, yeah, and that she got pregnant, right? So yeah, he might be the father actually. And even though she's telling that, oh, he told me I need to sleep with the king, right? And then I got pregnant, but I mean, if she did sleep with Abel before that, right? She clearly seduced Abel before that, before she was his father, and then she dropped him and did his father instead, right? But wouldn't she possibly still been pregnant by Abel? because I mean it's kind of like a soft story here. It doesn't really. I mean this episode here, I don't feel it what's it? It doesn't define if they actually slept together or not. I guess they didn't because it's not shown. That's what I mean. It's not shown that they actually went all the way, but it's kind of like this this is an anime, kind of a Disney anime, right? They're not gonna show Abel and Helena doing the dirty business. They're gonna show them. It's like a Disney, yeah. They're gonna show the two characters in a Disney movie basically, like, being in bed, right? But it feels like she's taking a head here. They're kind of having a nice time together, right? For many years. They're spending all this time together, right? They go on these romantic trips and so on. It definitely is, in like a Disney way, is telling us that they probably, of course, did it, yeah, kinda. And then the guy told her that she needed to smash his father instead, and she changed course to seduce the father instead. However, though, it is kind of tricky, though. I guess she did love Abel. He was her actual love interest. But it is tricky in the sense that she seemingly was like, I need to, seduce the king, right, to get the royal bloodline. But as him being the prince, and her goal was just to get pregnant, right? Her goal was to get pregnant by the royal bloodline, right? So maybe, honestly, she didn't actually love her father, Abel. I think it's a fair point to make that even though it does feel like she did care about him, and she probably did, it doesn't really come off as genuine. I mean, I guess she did love him genuinely, but at the same time, you have to wonder if she did just seduce Abel because she was like, I need to sleep with a prince, right? I need to, get it with that dirty. Yeah, I need to get it with the royal bloodline, right? Like the goal was to get the royal blood, right? I think that's fair to argue for. I think it's fair to argue that she was like, I need the blood, I need the royal bloodline. I'm just gonna say it, Abel. I'm just gonna say it. I don't want to hear it, but honestly, yeah. The episode definitely doesn't really explain that, but maybe we're gonna see it better in next when we see her. I mean, they're probably gonna show her part of the story to her perspective, right? Or the huntsman guy, yeah, the Fena's fake dad or something. They're probably gonna explain, her side of it, right? So something, but it does come off as maybe she was just here, trying to seduce Annie. Doing her pretty dancy, right? Trying to charm, Annie royal bloodline, right? Get the kid, get this, get one of them. This could be her strategy, right? She enters here to seduce any one of them. If you're looking from the witch seductive perspective, I mean, definitely she might just doing this thing to just get any one of them in bed, right? And honestly, like seriously. The way she explains it to Abel, she's like, I need to be pregnant, I need to get birth at Eden, now I can return to Eden, right? It also like her whole life goal was just to get pregnant by the specific bloodline to give birth to Fena, to create kind of like the Messiah or something, create Eve, Messiah, Jesus or whatever, right? That's kind of how this anime is played out, very, a lot of religious undertones, right? And, honestly, maybe she just went here to try to get with Abel or the king, right? I guess she's supposed to be in love with Abel and then sleep with her father more so. But it does feel like she also might have lied to Abel just to, get some, right? Of course, maybe looking from less. Like she needed to get some royal bloodline. She needed to start, to flirt with the prince, and then she needed the bloodline, and then she did fall for him. That's probably feels like the natural course of events, right? Like she had like mission to seduce the prince or the king, right? Like straight up, and then she fell for the prince during that. She actually did fall in love with her, object of like flirtation, right, so to speak. I guess that's probably more happened here, but it does really feel like she's coming off here as having the intention of I need to get pregnant by the royal bloodline. That seems to be her intention. And I'm feeling she's I'm going for her. She's an evil witch here. No, but seriously though, she seems to be very happy getting killed, right? She's like, I did my stuff, I get pregnant by the right bloodline, I've created Messiah, right? She seems to be, and it makes sense though, because if she views her daughter as the chosen one, right? Yeah. She used her daughter as, this is like, I'm giving birth to Jesus Christ, right? I'm giving birth to, I'm reborning Messiah, right? That's kind of how she views it, right? Her goal in life was like, oh, I know I can get pregnant, but the bloodline, if I do that and give birth at Eden, then I'm gonna recreate Messiah, right? Basically, she's like, yes, let's do it, right? So she seems that she's contemplated just getting it done with one of them in the family bloodline, though. You have to say that, right? It's really how it's played off as, yeah. But I guess she went back to Eden. But wondering why did they leave them with Fena? That's very strange in anime. I will explain that though. Because then it sounds like she actually, went to Eden, right? Gave birth to Eden with Fena, and that made Fena became this ultimate being, right? Because her mom and her looks almost the same, but the mom is blonde and Fena got this white hair, right? So giving birth to Fena at the correct place with the correct bloodline, and now Fena is like Messiah, yeah. She gets like super white hair, right? Super zero power here. But why would they leave then? Why can't Fena like be raised either with her? That's very weird. Honestly, that's probably, that has to be explained. Why, in a good way, I hope. Like, why can't you stay there, right? Why do you have to leave and so on? Why do you have to like go somewhere else with Fena? And that is really not explained at all, I feel. Or I mean, explain but motivated really. Why do you have to raise her at some other island or something? Yeah. Why would you then leave with her? And then all this puzzles to get back there, all this UNFR puzzle and everything to get back there. That sounds really weird to me, honestly, because if the goal is to give birth to Fena at Eden, she gets his powers, right? But why do you leave then? And Eden doesn't sound like a place that moves around, because the puzzle doesn't make any sense if Eden is like an island or something that can move around, like Atlantis. That doesn't make any sense, because the puzzle wouldn't be able to tell you then. If the puzzle was like a temporary thing, but perhaps the next place to get to won't be Eden, but will be a place that tells you where Eden is at the current time. So maybe Eden is moving around. That could be the explanation why she had to leave Eden, if Eden is only temporary or something. But otherwise, yeah, why could she just stay there for? That's kind of weird. Maybe if because it's not like Fena's done something outside of Eden that she needs to do, right? She just find a possibility to get back there. That's really strange. So hopefully they can explain that though. But it sounds like Helena has done the exact same journey though. One thing that's very strange though, I leave it to my point here, is that Helena seemingly knows exactly what to do, right? She has like the knowledge of, I have to sleep with the king, get the baby, do this stuff and so on. She can also do this like Fena. She has this magical dance thing and this like trance sight of this thing and connection to God or whatever. All that powers is there, right? But she seems to also know the truth, right? And kind of just knowing what to do. For some reason, Fena has no idea. So I guess the huntsman guy told her, but that's kind of weird, definitely, in that sense. That no one has told Fena about her destiny. She's kind of learning it, right? As we are doing it, to make it, I guess, an adventure. But her mom seemingly knew everything immediately. So that's kind of weird. Like, what is that because her mom was like raised by the chosen people or like the knights, something? I mean, it doesn't feel like their mom. One thing here is very sure now, I would say, is that the mother being with Fena's fake dad, right? Fena's fake dad, that family, whatever, is probably some kind of sentinels or some kind of cult, right? That's probably been following this family for a lineage. So that is something definitely feels like that. Like the huntsman, France guy, whatever. These people have probably been with, this Messiah bloodline or whatever for many years, right? Either controlling it or protecting it or whatever. Yeah, that seems to be something amiss there. How else does she know that she's basically the chosen one, right? Yeah. That seems kind of weird. Helena seems to know exactly what's going to happen and knows her mission and so on, and Fena has no idea. Because I guess he died with the attack on the boat and no one ever told her destiny. So that seems, I guess so, that Helena is raised probably by this, like a cult or something, yeah. That's probably what Fena missed out on with the attack as a kid there. She missed out on the cult life, I guess. But anyway, that's a great episode. Yeah, that episode I felt was the worst one. This was much better, much better. And it does definitely gives much more sympathy to Abel, because he seemingly was actually really in love. Her mom actually loved him over the other guys, right? And probably she had like 3 men in her life, but she did, I guess, love Abel. So he wasn't used. He was netto red. He got netto red though. He got netto red. But like earlier, it felt like he was maybe just crazy, right? He was netto red. He's like, I loved her. and you know, I deserved her. But I was like, maybe she actually loved him back. She was just forced to marry a king, basically, right? So, kinda. So yeah, the love story now is more. He's less insane now. He's obviously he's obviously objectively Netherred. He's clearly a Netherred character. He's hardcore Netherred. His father took his woman, right? So he's very, very Netherred. But at least he's not like crazy in that sense. He seemingly was more insane, I felt earlier. He's crazy, I guess, but you know, he's more like crazy, delusional about his love with her mother. But now, no, it actually makes sense. He's Fena's brother, though, so that changes that dynamic, though. Because he felt like but still, if he's trying to smash Fena, though, right? He has some idea that, but it feels like the thing is that Fena and Helena both have this mental thing where they turn into like this goddess form, and it's like, oh, you have to do this thing. So to some extent, they are the same person, though, more than just being daughter and mom, right? She clearly inherited her mom's like magical powers. So in his defense, though, if he makes Fena, you know, turn into her perfect form and she knows the truth or whatever, she's arguably her mom again, and then he can smash her even though it's his sister. So his anime, but in his defense, though, honestly, it feels like the mom and daughter here are more like clones, right? They kind of give birth to like the next form of themselves, getting more and more power or something, but it's more like the same personality, right? The same person. It's like being reborn to themselves in a weird way. So it does feel like that. So in that sense, he might be more accurate to actually looking at Fena as being a reborn Helena, because Helena is like a reborn Joan of Arc, right? And I guess a reborn Joan of Arc is like a reborn Eve, right? I think obviously it's Eve. So I feel like every person in their family is like a reborn Eve. So in that sense, right, if you smash Fena, it's almost like smashing Helena, right? It's almost like smashing Joan and Eve and so on. So it's less actual creepy, I think, from that sense, how it usually is in anime. No, it is. It's his sister, but it's less creepy than it usually is, because his sister is also basically the clone of another woman that he loved, right? So yeah, like, she's not really just like the same new person. They feel like they are inheriting almost the exact same personality and powers and everything. So I think, honestly, in his defense, maybe it is less creepy how it usually. Yeah, isn't it? Because like, isn't she basically a clone of her mom instead of being like, you know, a new person? At least from like how they look and talk and sing and dance and everything, it seems to be almost it's cloning the powers, right? Cloning the personality. I think so a lot, though. She's like her. It feels like she's the same person, but having different, memories, experiences, different experiences. It's like the same woman, but she doesn't have the same, life history. They didn't grow up on the same island. They didn't grow up with the same people, right? Yeah, that's a difference. But like from a personality standpoint and so on, it's like a clone more probably, but with more white hair. But anyway, that's a great episode, really. So yeah, this is one of the best animes on this season in summer here, and this is a really good episode again. Last episode again, clearly was a week's episode, but this was probably the best episode, almost one of the best. Interesting part here with the mom and so on. Little bit of a mystery though, and I hope it won't be plot holes, because there are clearly some parts that are like, they're kind of confusing, but I do feel some parts are a little bit like, not confusing, but perplexing, like why is it like that? Yeah, where you feel like this might be a plot hole eventually. We have to see the end, the final episode, and see how we're coming to the final now, right? And we have to see how they actually conclude it. But it does feel like it might be a little bit of like, this doesn't make much sense. Maybe, yeah. I am a little worried how they're gonna tie the knot together in the end here now, because it felt like this episode still. There are definitely a few question marks that I feel might be hard to actually have like a logical conclusion of it. But let's see, right? So yeah, so you guys, of course, potentially later tonight.